So it's wonderful to be with you and to be back with you. As many of you know, my new role here as president and CEO at the Forum is a homecoming. From 2013 to 2020, I was proud to create and lead the Forum's business engagement and immigrant inclusion work. Before I tell you a little bit more of my story, I want to be sure to thank our top champion level sponsors and help me thank them, please. Amazon, the Idaho Dairymen's Association, and Walmart. So please allow me just a few moments to share with you how I've come to the work of advocating for immigrants and immigration solutions. Early in my career, I did refugee resettlement with Catholic Charities, actually here in DC, just a few blocks to the right. And I would receive at that time, and this number may be shocking to those of you who do refugee resettlement, but at that time, I would receive about 120 refugees on my caseload per month. I would help them get their feet on the ground. I really love this part of the work. I would take them grocery shopping, get housing established. I would enroll their children in schools, and I would help them get to know their kids' teachers, which was a really lovely experience, introducing a parent to a teacher. Now, this was the moment when migrants were fleeing conflict, trying to cross the Mediterranean from North Africa, which many of you will remember and have been personally affected by. And I am sorry to say that several of the refugees, young men, 18, 19, 20, and 21, who were supposed to be on my caseload, whose names I had in front of me, and whose mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers sitting next to me, did not survive that journey. I had to console many family members awaiting their arrival in my office, completely unequipped, as many of you probably would also have felt. This experience was personally very heartbreaking, but also eye-opening. I realized that direct services are very important, they're vital, but so are the policies that allow us to welcome and support people fleeing desperate situations. I couldn't stand by. I had to touch this work. There are moments when we need to respond as a global leader. Klobuchar has just shared with us one very important one that's at our feet now. And doing so means that we need to institute better policies. So fast forward to today, with global migration at historic highs, the need for the U.S. to lead is even greater. Just before returning to the Forum, actually, I helped to lead our nation's response, welcoming Afghan evacuees on each of the military bases. I led the workforce development part of the process. And then more recently, I traveled back and forth to Poland for the last 6 months to help design an integration plan and set up a network of large corporations looking to employ displaced Ukrainian women, over 3 million, who found themselves in Poland. This year, the number of displaced people worldwide has surpassed 100 million for the first time. And also, I don't know if you saw this week, the 8th million baby was born. Our population is growing and the issue is growing. According to UNHCR, this number will continue to grow. This makes the need to provide welcome as important as has ever been. And we all know, I can look around this room and think about for each of you top issues. We know policies and procedures that enable us to provide that welcome need to be adjusted. If you are a farmer or a pastor of a Dreamer congregant, a business owner who's just hired a newly arrived person fleeing conflict, you are painfully aware that we need immigration reforms. But here is the good news, literally all around. What we know in this very room, and actually proven even further by the election, is that Americans, Republicans and Democrats alike, want solutions that secure us and strengthen us. Just a few weeks before the midterms, Lifeway Research did polling, just a few weeks, that showed that 80% of evangelicals want and would support bipartisan immigration reforms. and 71% would like to see Congress pass new legislation this year in this Congress. This isn't news to us. We've long partnered with the evangelical community to urge Congress to recognize the dignity of every human being, including immigrants. In fact, despite what a few megaphones would try to have us believe, we know there is ample support from moderates and conservatives, as represented by so many across this very room, for immigration solutions that ensure our security, boost our economy, and support those that are fleeing hardship. So many of us have been advocating Congress to pass these kinds of reforms. And here's the deal, Congress has laid the groundwork. Bills, as you've heard of today, that would point towards more order at the border and offer solutions for dreamers, farm workers, and our Afghan allies have all been negotiated, introduced through bipartisan support. So we are so glad that you are here urging Congress not to quit, but to pass these vital reforms. I know you will enjoy hearing from all the speakers today, these leaders who are sharing with us from their perspectives and will help us shape this important moment and this important work. Before I close, I want to thank our sponsors at the promoter level. Again, this is a wonderful long list, so bear with me. The American Federation of Teachers, the Business Roundtable, Chipotle, Chobani, Cummins, Dropbox, Greenberg Traurig, Merrick, Microsoft, Outreach Strategists, Uber, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Western Union, and Workday. Thank you all.